Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, good morning, bonjour, good morning, good morning, good morning, and particularly ciao to you today if you're Italian. Well done. Wow, that was close. Spain came so close. What a match, how gripping. Loved it. Now I'm nervous for tonight. Are you? I can't wait. What a great game we got in store. Two great teams. Semi-finals. Just, the tension, even in our office, is palpable. Good morning to you. If you haven't been here before and wondering what's going on, this is Ken at 10. We are James Alexander Estate Agents. We broadcast daily live from Southwest London and talk about all things property and whatever else is going on, really, particularly at the moment, obviously. We're anxious and keen to see a great result tonight for England. My gut feeling is we're going to do it. We're going to smash them tonight, and we're really going to come into their own. I like the Danish as a race. I think they're lovely people generally. I know many of them, and my experience has always been that they're great people, and they have a lot of pride, and they'll be out there for this game. But I don't think they can beat us with the depth of squad we've got. What do you think? But anyway, let's get on to property. First of all, just generally on the market, I just had a client on the phone asking what the market's like. My take so far since the end of the first stamp duty holiday, which, let's face it, is the main one, it's a big saving, the 15,000, is that there are less people selling. I mean, a lot less people selling. The number of people listing is far, far lower wherever you look, it seems, at the moment. I expect that we'll see a few more instructions come up within the next week or two where we have these acrimonious splits between vendor and purchaser. But still, I think we're going to see very low levels of stock moving forward. And those low levels of stock are going to impact the market because the demand is still there. So what we've seen so far locally here in Southwest London is we've seen the number of buyers come down, certainly, but the availability of properties come down even further, so that the mix between available stock and buyers is still very heavily weighted in the seller's favor. So it's interesting to see what will happen with new instructions as they release to the market. But so far, we've been busy. Offers are coming in. Things are selling. Things are still moving. There's confidence around, particularly around the family housing and particularly around 3 to 5 bedrooms. I think, when you look worldwide, every country in the world has had price rises since the pandemic. Every country apart from 2. One is India for obvious reasons, and the other is Spain. The rest of the world has had massive price rises across the board. The largest, I think, is Turkey, and we sit somewhere in the middle. Now, obviously, some of that growth was driven by the stamp duty holiday, no doubt. But will it fall off a cliff just because that's ended? My gut feeling is no. I think that this is sustainable, and there seems to be an underpinning by the lack of availability of property right now. So that's where we sit at the moment. Really, I think we're in one of the most interesting times in the property market that I've seen in my lifetime. And so, I've always said now for a while, it's one of those things where you think we'll be looking back on it and saying, do you remember that time when, with the stamp duty holiday and what happened next, what will happen next? Well, it remains to be seen, but so far so good. Just looking at the headlines now, the Times has got an article on property sales soaring as the stamp duty holiday closes. 10 times more homes than usual sold on the final day of the stamp duty holiday. Almost 36,000 property sales were sealed on June 30th as lawyers rushed to push them through. Helen Hutchinson from Irwin Mitchell said, "It's been the busiest I've ever known it. We've had people exchanging and completing on the same day to make it. Across the UK, some 1.1 million properties were sold during the tax holidays. There were 78,022 home sales completed in the last week alone. And this compares with an average of 19,000 sales in a typical year. Just over 124,000 people had agreed to deal before April 1st, and so had a realistic chance of making the deadline, actually missed it. That's a lot of people, isn't it? And a lot of money, a lot of financial anger there, no doubt. And I've said for a while now, those are sales that I expect to see coming back up. So it'd be interesting to see that. An article in The Independent about mortgages as well. This is not mortgage advice, by the way. Seek independent financial advice if you want to do that. This is just purely news. The Yorkshire Building Society finds first-time buyer market improving. And this is research by them, and it says that a fifth of aspiring homeowners say the coronavirus pandemic has forced them to delay their plans. And the firm mortgage manager says, our research shows that for those who've benefited financially from the effect of the crisis, it's fueled the ability to save more for a first home and brought the first step on the property ladder closer than people previously expected. He went on to say that first-time buyer market is swiftly heading back to pre-COVID levels, and the mortgage choice and availability with smaller deposit options making a comeback, and new government support on the table. First-time buyers could have a good reason to be optimistic, and I echo that. I think, we're starting to see those first-time buyers come back, and goodness me, the flat market needs it, because that's one that's really struggled, and those prices have been the ones that have been hit the hardest by the pandemic. We found that 3 to 5 bedroom houses have been the ones that have benefited most locally here in SW16. Across the UK, I know the story is a little bit different. Open spaces, green spaces, particularly gardens and office space, has been at a premium. The next thing is the interest rates. There is a rising economy threat to national debt, and the Office of Budget Responsibility has warned that increasing interest rates to dampen inflation could make the country's debts unsustainable and cause serious damage to the wider economy. See, this is what I was saying yesterday. In a scenario that sees the Bank of England respond to persistent inflation of over 4%, the cost of servicing the debt could rise from 1 to 4% of GDP. This is why I think interest rates are going nowhere. I've said for a while now that, they talk about pushing interest rates because of inflation. But right now, I don't even think they're thinking about pushing interest rates. So I don't think that's a consideration right now. It seems to me that we're in a low interest rate economy and will be for some time now. Now, in terms of the market generally, we're hoping for a busy day today. Lots of valuations in, which is good, because goodness me, we need the stock. Some of it's advice, though, advisory, people moving. We often get people that say, look, I don't want to move right now, but I'd just like your input on what I should do, what I shouldn't do, so we can give them an idea of what the prices might be depending on what improvements they've made. We always find that's a nice discussion, because it might not lead to a sale today. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it changes people's plans, and they say, actually, given what you've said, we'd be far better off moving now to maybe a better house, bigger house, better area, and not actually making the improvements we were thinking, because the impact overall financially is not as great as we thought it would be. Because, as I've said for a while now, we're in the Homes Under the Hammer generation. We're with them again tomorrow, by the way, filming out in Wimbledon tomorrow, and looking forward to that. Some new build places right smack bang in the centre of town. But what I mean by that is that people do watch the programme, and I do think they get a very misguided view of the level of work and how easy it is to do. You've got those tatty old homes you see that are kind of like real wrecks, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, there they are, all beautiful again. And it seems very, very easy. And trust me when I say it's not. Not only that, material costs are rising, labour costs are rising. So right across the board, improving your home is becoming more expensive. Builders are becoming rarer than hen's teeth, let alone materials. And no doubt they'll tell you that materials are going up in price, which is absolutely true. They are. Material prices, particularly of timber and the like, are really, really flying right now. So that's another consideration if you're thinking about doing home improvements. But in the final analysis, who are you doing them for? That's the real question, isn't it? Because if you're going to live where you are for 10 years plus, then you should do it for you, not for anybody else. And if you manage to break even on it or better, well, that's a good thing. But it should be about your lifestyle and what's best for you and your family. And if you'd rather put that money into a holiday or something else, that might be the best thing for you right now. It doesn't always have to be about improving your home in order to get more money, because often the choice is neutral, because so many people want a home with the P word, potential. And if you don't have that, something exciting is taken away from that purchase for many buyers. So that's it from Ken at 10 today. I hope you have a good day. Hope you enjoy the match tonight. We're certainly rooting for England. Hope you are too. Stay safe and well. Have a fantastic day. Up the England.